the training isn't just when you're pressing the trigger. The idea and the concept is that we're capable of good hits, right? Speed comes through efficiency, and efficiency is refinement, removing waste. If you have to go quick, you know how that comes about? Because 10,000 times you took your time and you did it right. You all got numbers. Here's how we're gonna start. I'm gonna grab my ears, we're gonna square up. We'll come to 5 yards. We'll go to 5. You're gonna square up on a target. We're gonna shoot a single 10-round group. All right, eyes and ears, the range is hot. You are only shooting when I get to you. Step up, Matt. Go ahead, Joe. 10 rounds on you. Kanan, go ahead and give me 10. Oh, what happened? Tell me your name again.
Derek.
Derek. Target 15.
All right.
Load and make ready.
Oh.
Relax, relax. So what do you got to do? So you should have tap racked. No. So that mag wasn't in.
Yep.
Yeah, so slap the magazine. Yep, now rack it. Yep, so we'll work through that.
All right.
All right.
Oh, God, that was off.
No, that's it. That's your bullet hole. Just go back to that first bullet hole. First bullet hole.
I lost count how many I was shooting.
Oh, now guess what? It's only you that's supposed to be counting.
9, that's 9.
Look alive, guys. Pay attention. I know you want to start talking. There's a reason I'm making you watch. Get ready to redress these, too. Those suckers are tall.
Yeah, I know.
Those are like a weapon. It's like the rudder on a ship. Lefty. You know what they say about lefties?
Nope.
Yep, on you. One more time. Pay attention, guys. Come on, mouth. Go back to that first bullet hole, will you? Ooh, what ammo is that? It's quiet. Go to the first bullet hole. Chase that first bullet hole. First bullet hole. First bullet hole. All right, a couple basic things. One, if I gave you all cake right now, or chili, it's cold, chili, a nice bowl of hot, yesterday, Texas chili, which you guys make it with nice big hunks of hearty meat. He heard the whole story yesterday. Hot bowl of chili. Leroy was like, I hope it's good chili. It'll be good. I'm making it. Walked around, handed you chili. Big, look at man, I love chili too. My mom makes good chili with good, yeah. How would you eat that chili right now if I gave it to you? Think about it. No, okay, you take your time. You're slow. I like that, Nick. But put your hands in front of you. How would you eat it? Do it, Doc. You guys think you're too, I went to medical school. I don't need to.
I'll eat chili at medical school.
Would you eat it like this by your ball sack? Would you go like this? Because that's what some of you did with your guns. Some of you were manipulating your gun like this, like, oh. No, this is the way your body's meant to work. If I gave you a notebook and said, I need you to take some notes, you wouldn't
Go way down there.
Yeah, let me just make some notes. Nor would you write out here, right? This is inert, by the way. You'd probably sit right here and take notes, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
That's not a game. Like people say, like workspace. We could talk about the ability to see things, but how about it's just comfortable to stand here? If I'm shooting target 10 and then target 11, I'm not going to go 10, 11. I'll go bang, bang. You know what I'm saying? My finger ain't going to leave the trigger unless there's something I can't point it at. So I'm going to step out, and you're going to notice, because we gave you this target, you're only going to shoot at the top, okay? That's my target. Not here, not here, not here, but here. And what we're looking for when you look through the sights, I am also looking, Kanan, will you grab the sight tool out of the top of the bag? I'm looking for good sight alignment, but when you have something like this square paster, you can almost use it as a measuring tool. Because what you can see, depending on what distance you're at, you may see a little bit of the paster on either side of your sight. Understand? This isn't like a tactical thing. You're not going to fucking shoot a bad guy and do this. What you're doing is learning how to use your sights. Thank you. So front, rear, right? So you're checking, and every sight setup is a little different, but you need to get really precise now. Is that windage equal? Where's the shot going to break? Where's the shot going to break? Where's the shot going to break? High what? Now where? Yeah, so like, you know, if we were at about 7 yards and I did this, aiming at the center here, my shot would only go to about here. If I was at 7 yards with my gun and I lifted the front sight completely out of the notch, and we'll do this, your shot would go about here. If I buried it to one side or the other, I'd stay in this printer paper at about 7 yards. But now I'm trying to hit that, which when we start to shoot that 100-yard piece of steel out there, now all of a sudden the minute adjustments matter. Got it? Or at 20 yards, you got to hit that A-box. You can't have shit out of whack. So the point of this isn't to just try to hit it. It's your takeaway is taking in data from what this tool's telling you. Sights are nothing more than a measuring device, right? It's the relationship between the bore and whatever you're pointing it at. Got it? So systems. So I'm going to shoot target 10. So I've got a good master grip. I'm high and tight on the pistol. Touch point. My middle finger, look at that middle finger. Look at that meat stick. Versus that one. Do you see the difference? Pleasure Town, not Pleasure Town. It's a big chunk of callus there from it slamming into the side of the gun, because I know that when it hits there, I'm tight. I want no space. Okay, so I'm behind the sights. I'm looking, my elevation is good, meaning the windage of that sight in the rear notch, and now I'm just going to work on breaking the shot cleanly. All right, shot a little bit high, but I'll take it. So what I'm looking for when I'm shooting these is not top, but center. So I'll go back to it. And I'm not dropping the gun. I saw what happened through the sights. So if I needed to shoot again, I could. So we'll get back on it. Don't watch the paster. So I'll work through it again. wind's blowing me around because I'm working marksmanship, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna rush it. Did that yesterday in the 20-mile-an-hour wind and it sucked. So get back on it. This is literally what I want you guys to be thinking about. So what happened on that one? Where was my sight? Good. So sometimes people want to analyze that. That's where the sight was, right? So for me, I should have stopped. I was starting to get shaky in the breeze, and I'm like, one more. And that's what happened. So now what we're looking for, though, is understanding why that happens. I'd rather you know why you missed than not know why you hit. I don't know how I did it versus, yeah, I know why I missed, which is better. You can correct one, but you can't replicate another. Yeah? So see if I can make that paster go away. No. That's enough for now. I'm going to tack mag. You get the point, right? Safely holster. Now, for me, I emptied my mag pouch because I'm training. That's where I retrieve my magazine. This, to me, is just a dump pouch like some of your bags. So I'm just reaching in here to fill that up. You might say that's kind of like legalistic or a little anal, but if that's the only spot I ever carry a magazine, that's the place I want to have the magazine. Understand? So we're going to square up here. You're only shooting at the top one. This is not a speed thing. Some of you guys I've seen that I trust you. I'm going to walk up and down the line a little bit. We'll go evens first so that we can split you up. You guys that are odds, get behind a person. Don't be barking orders, but like 3 or 4 feet behind them and just watch what they're doing. See if there's some of the things I just talked about that you're seeing are up. So evens on the line. All right, you guys present your pistol to the berm or to the downrange location here. Verify if there's a piece of steel back there, you're not going to shoot into it. Press the gun out and just look at your sight picture. Tiff, I would like this a little deeper so you got no space there. Yep. This hand up, good clampage here. Take your butt and go back a little bit. You're literally the butt on your body like what you sit on. Yep. There you go. You too. Ass back slightly. Yep. All right. Look at your sight picture. Check that windage and elevation. Look at what it looks like in relationship to the little paster. Put your finger on the trigger, get the slack out, come to that hard spot, and when you're ready, dock, slap, rack. There you go. When you're ready, pressure, 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 break. Just one shot, and then finger straight. Just one shot, and then finger straight. That shot's gone, so don't worry about that. Press back out now. Get a sight picture. Verify it's where you like it, and now begin applying pressure. If you lose the sight picture, put your finger straight. Put your finger straight and reset, right? Just one shot, kids. Come on down to the middle real quick. We'll work a really basic four position draw stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4. The problem with these types of things, anybody do jiu-jitsu or anything like that? You know, when you take like a movement that should be fluid and you make it into steps, all of a sudden you train steps. You know, like 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the draw stroke really just looks like this, right? But you train in these stop and start points. So 1, support hand, I got another touch point here. So for me, I take kind of this chunk of my arm, and this is me, I kind of just feel it like right here. So it's just like right here. This guy's like, hey, I know you're coming, and I'm going to be ready for you when you get there. So this gun clears. I'm in position 2. So you see this kind of stuff. This is position 2. Position 2. Position 2. The idea and the concept is that we're capable of getting good hits, right? Eyes and ears. So the concept is that if I had to, from this position, I've trained in a draw stroke where that gun is retained, right? Why would I have the gun here?
So someone's close by, you have your hand on them.
Potentially. So, like, don't add in shit that doesn't need to be there. Okay. Stop that, Lance. You're an adder. Just kidding. You're taking that really seriously. But yeah, you're retaining it because if I punch it out, you can take it. The muzzle's a nice lever. If I can get my hands on that, I can lever it out of your hands. My 2 hands on a 6-inch chunk of metal is stronger than your 2 hands on a 4-inch chunk of metal. Agree or disagree? So I'm keeping it away from you, right? So retained in, you can shoot, right? You can do pretty good work from that position and hit shit. Would you need to retain the pistol and shoot something 7 yards away? Probably not. But at these distances, if I had to, I can. Yeah? So we're not, I'm going to keep that clear. We're not training just to bring that gun up to some kind of like level position. I'm locked in behind the gun. I want you so strong behind the gun in that position that if you were to take this and put it on something like that and push down, I'm pushing as hard as I can. I would crush a pop can or be able to hold myself. I'm pushing very hard right now. Not all the time, but in this position, you're locked in behind the gun. Context. I'm not just doing this because it looks like a certain thing. I'm retaining the gun. So if we're going to practice that draw stroke, understand why the gun's there. What might happen with that slide? If I've got this gun right here, what might happen? Give me your 26. Come here. You got a clip of zine on you? Mm-hmm. Here, face this way. This is the gun. Just draw the gun. You got a mag? Yeah. So, like, you know, if we've got the gun and we're in this position and I have to fire, step over here. You know, what will happen when I press the trigger? It's gonna recoil back. Is there a round in the chamber? Okay, so it bounced off my shirt a little bit. There's still a round in the chamber. Let's come back farther, closer to the titty. There's my skin. There's the slide. What's going to happen? Huh? Did it? So that compressed, but not enough because there's the round. So rib cage stopped it. So if we cock a little bit outboard, now that slide can go over the radius bone, right? And have plenty of room to go. So that kind of works nice. See that? See that? Yes. You know, what happens if you had to block the slide, though? What will happen?
It's not going to do anything. Now there's nothing in there.
Huh?
Did not eject.
Right, so it didn't cycle. So we don't want to put ourselves in a position where we stop the slide from moving, right, or impeding. So that gun, as it comes out of the holster to position 2, just think about slightly canted outboard, but my wrist is strong. I'm locked in behind it so that if I have to, I can shoot. So I'm up, right? I'm just moving up and down a little bit so you can see how this is changing impact. Yes? Yes. We're not doing like close quarter pistol fighting shit here, but if you're drawing the gun into this position, understand what the reasoning is. Yes? Yes. 1, 2, karate chop. 3, punch out. 4. That grip, the components of a good grip. What are we trying to hold the gun for?
Battle.
Yeah, to control it. We want to, the gun has one purpose. The grip is something that's repeatable. And we talk about like controlling recoil. I don't really want to control it. I want to work with it and allow the gun to reciprocate as designed. The more I can manhandle this, the more energy from that little 9mm is going to be spent in the reciprocation process instead of this shit. So we think about a gun flipping like this. We got 2 levers here, and you got 1 fulcrum point. 2 fulcrum points, really, but one's important. Here's the fulcrum points, right? Yes, no? Yes. Where's the levers? barrel grip. So naturally, this would be a better lever, right? Why? Yeah, it's longer, but you can't grab that, right? So where would I want to grab, what lever and what part of the lever would I want to grab onto?
Pressure with your pinky pushing down.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, that's that right there. If I can buttress that, man, you can do some good work. So I'm going to just do it myself a few times, and we're going to do it together. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3. Finger off the trigger, safe to holster. 1, access the grip. 2, pistol comes level up in that high pectoral index. High pectoral index. So you're connected. You're connected to your body. That gun is up. Look at me without pointing your gun at me. You're up. I'm trying to lace up somebody's belly in front of me. Look down at your gun. If you pulled the trigger right now, where would it shoot? Matt, you'd shoot off into the prairie. So 3, join your hands together in front of you. 4, punch out. 3, come back in. 2. So now, inspect the trigger. Tell yourself it's safe to holster. That's a system. Safely recover to the holster. 2. High pec index, non-dominant hand, support hand is either holding a cover garment, blocking, or getting ready to join. 3, karate chop, good grip. Your hands are compressed together now. You've got a strong grip. 4, press out. I'm going to walk the line here and put a little force on you so you feel. So how do you fix that?
My footing.
Okay. So when I told you put your butt back a little bit, feel what happens when you did that?
Oh, okay.
So you've got a very aggressive ass back position. No, go ahead. Yep. Once I walk past you, work on the draw stroke. Keep the gun on target. Keep it on target. All right. Come on, spaghetti arms. That's my second Dirty Dancing reference in 15 minutes. Spaghetti arms. Come on, Doc. Come on, stop moving. Stay on target. No, for real. You're good at other things. That's okay. Stay on target. Dude, you've got nice biceps. You do a little, huh?
Show.
They're for show?
Yeah, they don't do anything.
Strengthen up your core. Get strong. Get strong behind the gun. There we go. Whoa, you're freaking out right now behind that mother. Get strong. Spread your feet out a little bit. Spread them out a little bit. Okay. Present that pistol. Come on. Get strong. Okay, good. So come to this high ready position or high port position. Come to the high port position. Your gun is in a dominant high ready position. This is not high ready. This is not. This is not. I'm up. I'm not blocking where I'm going though, so come here. Come to me. Come to me. Come on. Control your muzzles. We've got empty guns, but now stop where you're at. Stop. So look around. And this is kind of a all, right?
No one's getting shot.
But our guns are empty, so how are you going to get your gun back to a safe position? That requires you to go somewhere to a safe position. Now, check it out. I'm the kind of guy that even if I didn't know all of you, I'd probably yell, "Make a line!" I don't trust any of you. Or I'd say, "Hey, everybody, why don't you step up to the cardboard?" Or I'd be like, "I don't know who any of these are, so I'm going to go where I can see them." Do you understand what I'm saying? So, without no haste, let's mindfully figure out how to get our guns back in the holster. That is not a safe direction, though. Remember, we only had a couple safe directions here. So we got some thinking going on. Keep looking around. Keep looking around. Hey, hey! You guys have men downrange. Pay attention. Remember I told you we were looking around and not getting myopic. Nobody pointed a gun at anybody, but there's a reason we're going through this. So get your gun back to the holster. Was that weird?
A little bit.
Was it? I mean, like, imagine you have your gun out at Walmart. I mean, people everywhere. Now, that was 14 guns. But, I mean, we already had a line. I thought one of you would have just, after I gave you the advice, to somebody be the leader, but you guys were like, I don't want to say something and get yelled at. So check it out. I'm walking down the line. Control your muzzle. If one of you points a gun at me, I will kick you in the penis. See, that's easy, right? That's easy. Come back to a compressed position. Compressed position. I don't know. I mean, I'm walking by, but you will not point guns at me. So check out that grip. That's pretty, this is really easy for this to get ripped out of your hands. So what might you want to do? I mean, I would maybe extend out a little bit and just come down. Yeah? Because now you still are on the gun. Yep. Does any of you feel like what I'm doing is unsafe? Because I do. Up. You're going to punch the gun out, get a hit, finger straight, dump the mag, retrieve a new mag. Cant the mag well inboard, reload. So that was one, fire one. For me, decock. Look left and right when it's safe to do so. Bend over with the muzzle level. Retrieve the new mag. See that? We all can do this? Well, you will. We'll get to there. But this, so tac mag, tac reload, tactical reload. We're not ever putting an empty magazine in the gun. It's for training. You get that?
Yes, sir. Got it.
Okay. Up. Dump when it's in the vertical position. Feed the new one in. And we might go 1, 4, 1, 2, blah, blah, blah. We're just going to work that a little bit. And we'll continue. Retrieve your empty magazine, wherever it is, on the ground or in a pocket. Okay? When I get back off the line, you're going to present your pistol. I'm purposely having you do this manipulation, and we're going to tack mag. We'll go back and forth a few times. There we go. Tack mag again. Tack mag again. Tack mag again. And again. Easy peasy, huh? Just like saving lives or putting people to sleep. 1, reload 1. Finger straight, look left and right. Safe to bend over with that muzzle level, tack mag the empty back into the gun and recover to the holster and reset for another iteration. Roman finished first. Line when it's safe to do it, bend over with your muzzle level, retrieve that empty magazine. Do not get myopic. Tack mag that empty magazine back into the gun, set back up, recover to the holster. Let those magazines fold. Let's go 1, reload 5. I'm going to punch the gun out. I'm going to get a good forward weight bias. I'm behind the gun, and I'm going to start moving. Stick to stick. Downrange. Stick to stick. I'm actually pushing a little bit past it. My gun's pretty level. This is purely a mechanical drill here where we're starting to develop some awareness. The goal is that we're building a software program in our brain that gets really good at registering when we get a hit. You're going to work it just like this. Stick to stick, stick to stick, stick to stick. And as your sight coalesces with the paper, bang, bang, bang. You can go slow, but I do want you moving. You're not moving, stopping, shooting, moving, stopping, shooting. You're shooting as the sights are in movement. Yeah? So we're going to move, bang, 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 going live, fingers on the trigger, bang, 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 bang. I fired 2 misses. I know exactly when they happened and where they happened. That's the point of this drill. We're all going to miss. And I want you to, but I don't want you to miss. I want you to understand where the shots are going. That's the point. It's not about hitting, because I can do this. I can do this. And I can drill the shit out of it, but I'm not challenging my ability, right? I'm not telling you go fast or slow, but I know you can hit the paper. The point is you're building in that reference. So I can move a lot quicker and still get hits. But it's at that moment, I just outran the software. You dig?
Yes.
The reason it happened is I was prepping the trigger for most of these because the gun's moving. Now it's a little bit of like gamesmanship. The trigger has to break when the shot's here, not start pressing, because that press takes some time. So this, I probably started pressing the trigger right here, and by the time it broke, the gun had already moved that far. Dig?
Yes, sir.
So there's a little timing thing. Present your pistol to the berm, load and make ready. This whole exercise, I can do nothing for you except yell at you to tell you to keep the gun moving. This is all about your ability to take in information. Talking about awareness. People are going to have a real hard time taking this video seriously with me with this hat on. I just looked at my shadow. It's like Cousin Eddie over here. The awareness that we talk about is not just aware of physical stuff around you. What's happening inside of you, the information, the data, the stimuli that's happening around you, that's on you to take that in. I can't do anything with it. 1 round. Start moving left to right, and on you, put your finger on the trigger and press 1 round while the gun is in movement. Come on, Brian. Come on, Brian. Go both ways. Like mass sexuality. Go both ways. Both ways. Come on. Come on. Come on. Stop laughing. Run that gun. Drive your ass back and your shoulders forward. Come on.
Ready?
Come on. Tighten up your wrists. Reload. Finger off the trigger. Good. Understood?
Understood.
We're going to run a few more on your own target now. We're going to run 1 more magazine into the body. All right? You got to get that out. Moving left to right. Give me 1 shot in the head. Again. There you go. While it's moving, Ken. While it's moving. There you go. Tell me your name again.
Ross.
Ross. While it's moving. Good job, Ross. Tell me your name again.
Brian.
Brian. I knew that. Brian.
Got it.
Do it. Again. There you go. Keep going. Good. Tell me your name again.
Gassan.
Gassan. While you're moving. While you're moving. Come on. While you're moving. Prep. So stop for a second. I'd like you to get the slack out of the trigger, and you're just prepped, ready to go. And as the sights coalesce, press straight through. Ready? Again. 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 See the difference?
Yeah.
Dump that mag. Reload. Good. Leroy. Leroy, stop for a second. I want you to put your finger on the trigger and come right to the wall. That's that hard spot. Yeah. As you're squeezing, I want good grip like this, the pressure on the gun, and just this is moving, not this. You're not squeezing your fingers as the trigger's moving. Understand? Gotcha. So put your finger on the trigger, prep back to that hard spot, and go from there. Okay? Move. Try to keep this grip pressure consistent. Consistent. Okay? Where's your dot? Adjust accordingly. Okay. Tip. Tap. Tap the mag. Rack. Yep. Go for it while the gun's moving. Only press when you see those sights where you want them. Press straight back. Good job. Dump that mag, reload. You're going to start all the way in front of this piece of cardboard, okay? I'm going to tell you draw, move, and shoot. We are only shooting those pieces of steel as we are in front of them. So you're going to draw, move, and shoot. But because I'm not in front of it, I have to get to it. Fingers will be off the trigger till I'm ready to shoot. But I might be through my sights on the trigger. I just know I got to get a little farther forward. Again, this isn't tactics. We got to have some safety parameters because in a minute, we'll have a constant line of people moving through this. The training isn't just when you're pressing the trigger. Draw, shoot, and move. Good. Good. Keep moving. Good. Step up, Matthew. It's in the center of the steel. Press, press, press. Good. Keep moving, keep moving. Find the steel. Press, press, press. Good. Drive it to the next one. When you're ready, press, press, press. Hit it again. Hit it again. Drive them to the center of the steel. Good. 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 Keep moving. Go for it, Leroy. Good job, Alex. Come on, Doc. Doc, if you need to slow down because you're going faster than your skills, then maybe you should do that a little bit. We're not trying to miss. As long as that shot breaks within reason, you start thinking about like distance and wind and that time of a bullet flight. But we're talking about pistol shit, 10, 15 yards and in. As long as that thing breaks while it's coalescing with the target, that's good. So your job is to have a really rock solid grip that's repeatable. Regardless of what's happening, I'm locked out because that's going to make the gun reciprocate efficiently like we said. Some of you guys are already having issues because you're limping the gun. So all that energy, instead of cycling the slides, causing the muzzle to go up and down. There's only so much energy. This guy already wants to go about thermodynamics. Anybody that wants to go about physics, I'll be here till the end of the day and we can talk about that too. Reciprocation. You want it tight and right, not floppy woppy. So you got to be strong behind the gun. Got it? Tomorrow, when we're shooting the carbine, we'll shoot this weekend 150 yard target standing, which means if you're going to get a good hit on that, especially a little breeze, you're going to be like this in the breeze. At 100 yards, you're going to miss by 10 feet. So you got to get strong behind the gun and pull it into you and drive your shoulder forward into the gun, right? So with the pistol, I'm doing the same thing. I'm a ball of meat around it, and my arms and shoulders and back is just a big loop of meat and bone and sinew. Yeah? Operation of a rifle, just like a pistol. Loading, unloading, safety in the trigger. This gun is unloaded. I have an empty magazine with nothing in it. So just like we have that master grip on the pistol, I've got a master grip on the rifle. So I'm in a high port position right now. High port. What would this be? What would this be? What would maybe this look analogous to with the pistol? Sewell would be one way, but more of a compress because I could compress maybe to here. Context, right? From here you could pop out and punch, hurt. Where we're going today is we want to develop real good skills with how we run these guns. I want to be able to hit 100-yard 4-inch targets. 4-inch targets at 100 yards, so be able to shoot that coffee cup at 100 yards on demand. Not 20 tries, but on demand. With a red dot or iron sights. We can all see that far. Does that sound doable? Yes. Sling is there to have the gun in a position that you need it in when you're ready to use it. Buttstock is up against the clavicle so that when the gun comes up, it's right where I need it. This is not a shotgun. I'm not mounted out on my shoulder. I'm into the clavicle. Yes? Yes? The gun comes to my face. I'm not down here doing this. I'm up. My head's pretty much up. This is why now guys are using taller mounts because it works better with our body, right? If this is up a little bit, the distance from my cheek to my eye is a few inches, not this 1 inch. Yeah? And you need a sling that is able to be adjusted quickly and easily. The sling also aids us in getting a better shooting position. I may be able to, depending on the requirements, lock myself into the sling and tighten that gun against my back. Yeah? The grip with the pistol, very analogous to what we're doing with the gun. The gun really becomes my left arm for me, shooting on this side. So instead of this, and I'm locked out in a big loop, see it? This is really just nothing but controls. You get it? So same thing. I'm going to drive this shoulder forward for the lefties, and I'm going to pull this in. This kind of clamping action with the thumb on top, that's not new. Benny Cooley, D.R. Middlebrooks, guys like that pioneered that shit in the 80s. Why are we doing this?
Get a better grip and also control the horizon.
Yeah, recoil control is pretty minimal in these, but yes. Yeah, we're just really locking ourselves into a good mount behind the gun. So righties, same. If I came up to you, and I will do this on the line, as you're holding your gun, I'm going to have you be the shoulder, and I'm going to pull. Most of you I'll pull over. Of course, we can't pull ourselves over, right? But as much as if I'm pulling with made-up number, 50 pounds here, what do I got to do here? I got to push forward with 50 or at least lock it out to the point that I'm not going to push my shoulder back. I'm pulling this thing into me and driving this forward. So it's just this. Yeah? And in doing that slight little bit of a movement and yanking that back in, this becomes static, just like the grip. It's not like I'm not moving around. When I'm behind the gun, that's locked out. Understood? Low ready, it just comes right into that position. High ready, punch out past the close and bring the gun back in. Punch out past the close and come back in. Punch out past the close and come back in. Understand? Yes. Low ready, contextual. It's not this. It could be. It's not that I'm trying not to, or trying to point to some certain angle. It's that I'm trying to see. That's why you've dropped the gun out of your line of sight. I need to be ready. Remember yesterday, ready. But what am I looking for? Where? There. Understand? The safety goes on and off. I don't want to use the word automatically. It's thoughtfully, but it happens when you're working the trigger. I'm not going to go, okay, I'm ready to shoot. Safety off, up. Here we go. I'm going to shoot. Safety comes off as I come to the target. Bang, 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 bang. Back to safe. I got to shoot. Click, 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 whatever. Back to safe. Just like finger safe, safe to holster. Yeah? I need to shoot. Back to safe. You hear it? That's not negotiable. I think if the gun is for protection, home defense, something like that, you should definitely have a light on it. I think the light should be quality enough to see as far as you will be shooting, right? Lights on a weapon, by the way, are not for searching. Lights on a weapon are for identifying targets and illuminating them so you can shoot them. That's why you have a handheld light, right? Maintenance on these things. You do need to replace bits and parts on them. If you don't, they will get unreliable. They're quite an amazing tool if kept maintained. And lubricant is life to these. For some reason, yes, I own a lube company, but I own it because I like lube. I'm not telling you this. I don't get what I'm saying? Yeah, I do like lube. You should have a wet gun, especially when training. Why not keep the gun in a condition where it's going to function well and not wear it out, right? Nobody would be like, I'm going to drive across the desert and I'm going to drain half the oil out of my engine. That would be weird. So a couple points that we need to know to zero a rifle. Important points. We often think barrel length. Barrel length has zero to do with the zeroing of the rifle. We need to know the velocity of the projectile. What else? The mass, the weight, the bullet coefficient, or the coefficient of how that projectile cuts through the air. What's going to cut through the air better? Something that's shaped like a roll of quarters or something that's shaped like a football? Football. Yeah, for sure, right? And when you start to get out real far, you start to think about things like, does it have a boat tail on the back of it where the back is tapered back? Does it have a hollow point? A hollow point actually creates a pressure wave in front of the bullet and helps it stay stable. Do you know that? So like a hollow point, like I've got some 77 grain hollow points. They're not to expand. That little tiny hollow point creates a pressure wave. I believe it's called sorry? No, I believe it's called a toroidal wave, which is a smoke ring. When an old man, that smoke ring, that's actually what's happening continuously in front of the bullet. It's pushing the air out around it and basically creating a nice clean space of air. But what happens when you do that? You create drag. So now you need a more powerful bullet so that you can fight the drag. So projectiles, ballistic coefficient, the BC. I'm giving you just like a quick overview, like this is like long range kind of shit, but it's important because as you buy things, match things, you go to buy another gun. I think if you know all this shit, it's going to make you a better purchaser and shooter. So the ballistic coefficient, it's the numerical evaluation of a projectile's efficiency in flight. So what we want you to do is like your gun. Ideally, if you're a rifleman or a riflewoman, you should have one gun and one projectile. If you go and we zero your guns with your ammo and I give you mine and I take yours, we will get a different result unless we're shooting the exact same ammo from the exact same lot. Got it? Bullet selection should not be based on BC alone. Selection should also be considered for such factors as, competition, target shooting, hunting. Am I just taking the kids to plink at 50 yards? I don't need the fancy shit, right? Twist rate. You guys all know what the twist rate is of your barrel? So twist rate on mine, these are 1 in 8. 1 in 8 is what Radian does, and I have a wild barrel, W-Y-L-D-E, which is a man. Slow, fast, slow, fast. Oftentimes we see twist rates and the casual observer says that a twist rate should be matched to bullet weight. It's bullet length. 223 versus 556. What's the difference? Yeah, it's pressure, and there's a slight difference in the construction and how they're constructed. Putting 556 in a 223 can be catastrophic to some guns. The information that's here, I'm going to email to you. I've just put this in the handout because I think it's good stuff to know and understand. I shoot the Wild barrel. Bill Wild created this, and basically it allows you to shoot both, and it creates optimal performance for either. You're talking about like some crazy, minute machining shit that is beyond me. If you have a 50-yard zero, where should it hit at 200? Should, but here's the problem with that 0 is everybody uses that 0. That 0 works with a 75 grain bullet, not a 55 grain bullet. So right here in your paperwork is a 200 yard 0 with a 55 grain bullet. Pink is a 75 grain round. You can read at the top which one it is. The blue is pretty much what most of us are shooting, sans the hipster with the 300 blackout who makes doctor money to be able to afford to shoot the 300 blackout. So are you all shooting standard height optics? So no, not where the dot is. So this hasn't changed since Vietnam. This height from here to the center of the bore is just like the A post on like the guns that your uncles and grandfathers carried in old school M16s. That's 2.6 inches. So like the carry handle on an old M16, that's 2.6 inches from there to the center of the bore. 2.6 inches from there to the center of the bore. Mine co-witnesses, so my dot is, so if yours is the lower third,
it's like 2.7875.
Now then, doesn't necessarily mean anything because your optic height, you could have picked your optic up, right? So you need to know what the dot height is over the bore. I'm showing you how to do the dope on your gun. So you need to know bullet speed, bullet weight, bullet type. You need to know the height over the bore. So for me, it's 2.6 inches. And I'll look at your guns, and we'll look at that, which is pretty easy to do. If you grab a tape measure, and I measured from the center of the bore to the center of this optic, you'll see it's 2.6 inches. Some people oftentimes just say 2.5. It's because they don't know how to read a tape measure or a ruler, but it's 2.6 inches.
Co-witnessing and you have standard iron sights, it's always 2.6.
Not always, but I mean, that's what a standard AR height over bore is. I mean, you have to like hunt. Like if you go online and order like Magpul backups, they're 2.6 inches. Yeah. Let's talk about 0 now. The whole point of a 0, if we take all of our guns and we zeroed them all the same way, we're going to get a different result because all of them are going to have a different velocity. So if I bought one case of ammo and we all zeroed shit the same, unless we all have the exact same gun, machined the exact same way, there's going to be slight deviations in the amount of pressure created, right? Longer barrel allows a longer amount of push, so you might see a slight increase in velocity. Well, guess what? This versus my 16-inch is I can hit shit at 700 yards all day long. I have like feet more of drop out of this than the 16-inch.
That's a 10-inch?
Correct, because of that loss of velocity. So you ever heard the term dope with a rifle?
Yep.
Yes? Everybody has, or who hasn't? Do y'all know what it means?
No.
So back in the louder?
Knowing the levels of your drug, basically knowing how you're
So that's what it means now. But what is it like? The reason that came about is back in the day, an American rifleman going off to fight the redcoats. When you left home, you had a dope bag, and that dope bag had shot. It had powder. It had wadding. It had fire making shit. It had all the stuff that you needed to get home, and it had everything that you needed to win and get the game or whatever. And so the rifleman had the stuff he needed. So the dope bag, or your dope, or dope chart, which we're going to do dope chart, is us understanding that arc of your bullet. Make sense? So it's only as good as the data you put in. Bad data in, bad data out. So 223 Remington. And we're going to stick with this just because it's a pretty easy constant. So notice the ballistic coefficient, 0.27. Initial velocity. How do you know the velocity? If you just read the box, that's bad. So you got to get a chronograph. If you get serious about this and just chronoed your ammo, all of a sudden you'd probably be the best shooter with all your friends because you know the math of where it's going to hit. Understood? So here's all we're doing. Rough 0 confirmation. We know that the math tells us that with the 0 we're using at this distance, the bullet should be 1.9 inches below our point of aim. Tracking? Tracking. Ish. Some of you guys have different zeros. We talked about that. We're then going to confirm at 50 yards. For us, we're going to move a couple vehicles and we're going to go back to 50 yards and we're going to put a 3-inch circle on these. That's more than enough for us to see, and we're going to confirm. If you can't keep your rounds in a 3-inch circle at 50 yards, like group-wise, then we're not going to shoot at 100 or anything else. So we got to have good fundamentals, good solid fundamentals, and then we'll stretch them out. We can see to about 500 yards here. So I want to spend a lot of today making us marks people. A woman. A man and a woman, right? Yeah. I'm going to get my sling into a position that I can come to this high port, right? My bolt is going to get locked back. I'm going to do a beer can grip. This is just me on my mag. Seat lock, tug, right? Cycle. Now, if I looked at what side my mag or my top round was on, after I loaded, what would happen?
It's going to change sides.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, change sides.
Everybody else hear that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
I need some confirmation.
Yes.
Right? So check it out. Which round is up?
The left side. Our left side.
My right side, right? My right side. Right? So if I notice that, top round, right round up, tactile. I can do this in the dark. Tactile. Seat lock tug, beer can grip, close the bolt. Which one's up? Left side. Reseat mag. What's the other way I can do this? I can open the bolt and I can see brass, right? All right, so I'm going to square up on my target 8, correct? I'm going to slip out of my sling. One other thing I'm going to do before I get down is I'm going to verify that my dot's on and I'm good to go. Brightness is how I want it. Where would I want my brightness for zeroing maybe? You said mid. Maybe for me, I want to be able to see as much of the target. I want a defined target, a defined aiming point. So slip out, take a knee, support hand to the earth, and just drop down. And now what I want you guys to take note of is what I'm not doing, which is really nothing. I'm just not moving. I'm just locked out behind the gun and I'm relaxed. Now, right now I'm noticing that my dot is to the left of my intended point of aim and impact. So if I move my hips opposite, I move them literally. I took my penis and I moved it about an inch on the earth. It's medical terms, guys. Don't get weird. I just drug my frenulum. Peen?
Your glands.
My glands. About an inch. And in doing so, it moved my point of aim the other direction. If I move slightly, I can really get dialed in. So I'm back on the gun, feeling melted in, good cheek weld, looking for consistency. I'm taking notice of whether or not I'm canted right or left. Gun's pulled back tight into my shoulder. Safety comes off. And now to get a good result, I'm going to quit talking. Impact a little low. See it? Tight back into the gun. Impact low right. See it? All right. Back on it. So just shooting fast, my zero hasn't moved from when I last with this gun. So I'm going to go to the bottom left now. And I can live with that. So what I'm looking for there, support hand to the earth, fight back up onto my feet, control the muzzle, close the dust cover, adjust my sling. Those first couple, that first one, that was just shitty shooting. By the time I got to the third one, rested into the earth a little bit. So the last one, I'm gonna get super solid and make my shit tight and right. Much better. So what I do different? Well, what I did different was I got a lot stronger behind the gun. When you're shooting long range with sandbags, bipods, you do the complete opposite of what I'm telling you to do. you literally touch the gun very little. I don't have that option. I don't carry sandbags with my truck gun. I don't have sandbags when I'm hunting, right? So that last group is what we're looking for. Even if they're not touching that red dot, I want them touching each other. Understood? So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to clear my gun out because I'm going to be walking behind you. Anytime we deck one of these guns this weekend, we want it empty and the bolt locked open. Well, I don't even want to get in the habit of having guns on the ground pointing that way, even if all the muzzles are open. Come back to a high port position. You should have dominant control of your safety right now. Take a knee. Slip out from underneath your sling with your support hand, or if you got a single point, you don't need to. Get down onto your tummy so muzzle comes flat to the earth. Now, position yourself so that your muzzle is at that 10-yard line. A couple of you guys need to crawl backwards. Crawl backwards. A couple of you may have buddy those obnoxious brakes. Listen to me. If brass goes down your shirt, muzzle goes to safe. Don't start digging around in your shirt with somebody else's hot brass. You will get a significant burn if the rifle brass goes to bare skin. So when you're ready and you like everything that you're doing, you can take your safety off, and I want 1 3-shot group, okay? 1 3-shot group at that top left black dot on the left target. Understood? Understood. Everybody understands, correct? All right, range is hot, eyes and ears. Pressure, 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 shot breaks. Understood? Control your breathing. Relax. Feel yourself melt into the earth. If you're full of tension, it's not going to work good. Let's do it. So if you made adjustments, send a few more at that same target so you can see if they're where you need them to be if you made adjustments. Listen. Remove the source of ammunition. Listen! Before you need to move, you guys are like 7th graders. Remove the source of ammunition where you're at. Lock the bolt back. Let that round fall. Visually, if needed physically, inspect the chamber. You've got 2 pieces of paper. Each piece of paper has 2 of those red logos. At this distance, if you put your red dot right in the center of it, and you add a 50-yard zero, you should be hitting it right in the center, right? Right. Before your safety goes off, confirm that your body's where you want it, right? Yeah. All right, on you. 3 rounds. We're moving shit all over the place. Like a couple of you guys like adjusted and pushed up to like, you know, crazy town. You gotta understand your optic. You know, not all of these move the same. And if you're the specific distance you're at, like some of these, 1 click will move it half MOA at 100 yards. Some of them will move it a quarter MOA at 100 yards. So what would a quarter MOA at 100 yards be?
Quarter of an inch.
About a quarter of an inch, right? So what would that be at 10 yards? How many clicks would you need to do? If 1/4,
4 times as many.
yeah. Got it?
You got it.
So we'll break into groups of 4. And it'll be pretty simple. But before we do that, we're just going to work a little dry fire with empty guns. So we're going to go standing, kneeling, prone, standing, kneeling, prone. We got empty guns. All right, so square up on that 50-yard line. And just a quick demo, just watch me real quick, stepping out, control your muzzles. So check this out, there's a lot of different things I can do with kneeling. If I want to get super steady, I can sit down on my own foot, bone-to-bone contact on my knee. So elbow to knee, except I'm not putting the point of my elbow on my knee, kind of coming back a little bit, like an inch or 2 in this flat area of the upper arm. Feel that? Yeah. Or see that rather? and I can get pretty steady. I can come down onto my buttocks as well. Now is where you can start to use your sling. So if I'm good and tight, I can pull this gun. I can also wrap my arm up into the sling, depending on what position I'm in, and take up more of that slack and make it even tighter on me. Understand? So depending on the position of that sling and your body posture and how you need to get that gun tight, I'm using that sling to lock it all in. Driving my shoulder forward, and I can get pretty steady. I need to get prone, slip out of the sling, right? Just like we've done. Good and steady, non-dominant hand to the earth if you need to. Oh look, here's another kneeling position, right? Yes? Standing, bang, bang, you're dry firing. Finger straight, safety on, take a knee. Prone out, slip out of the sling, drop to the earth. Fight back up to your feet. Notice my muzzle's not down. Yeah? Finger straight, take a knee. Finger straight, slip out of your sling, prone out. How's that? Fight to your feet. Mount the gun. Shoulder forward, ass comes back, dominate the gun. Finger straight, take a knee. Finger straight, get on your belly. Where's your safety? Fight to your feet. Feel pretty good with that? All right, so that team, and you guys will all shoot each station. So that station, you're going to shoot standing at the body, kneeling at the body, prone to the head swinger. You're going to stand back up and shoot the body again. 3 guys at a time, right? So I'll say go, so we know what each station's doing. This station, up, hit, finger straight, take a knee, hit, finger straight, safety's on, right? Prone out, and you're going to hit that head swinger. Miss and a hit, fight back up. Hit, safety on, let the gun hang. This one's only got to make 1 hit, okay? Slip out of your sling, watch your muzzles, prone out. All right, those of you not shooting, at least be in a position where you're safe and you're not muzzling the feet of anybody that's proning. Hit. 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 Make sure that safety's going on. So make sure those safeties are going on as you move positions, guys. So go ahead and move to another position, kid. Favor the top of the plate, Nick.
Yes.
Favor the top of the plate. Aim right over the top of the plate. This should be an easy cakewalk. Hit. Now here's the thing about that dope. Like if you go to all these known distances, or you have a zero that you know, geez, remember what was the mid-range trajectory? What was the high point?
2.48.
Yeah, so the highest we're going to go with that zero is about 2.5 inches. So then from there, shit starts over the point of aim. So, and where was that at?
At 150.
Yeah, it was like at 150 yards. So from here to 150 yards, bullets climbing. That's like a 5-inch swinger on that little thing. So if I hold in the center of it out to 150, I'm going to still hit it. If I can see and recognize I'm inside of 150 yards, I could favor a little low, you know, on something like that, right? I'm going to shoot a beer can at 150 yards. If I hold center, I'll just shoot the top, 2 inches, right? So you do this enough and you start to build in your database. So if we come down here, one of your groups, I'm going to make sure that we got a good firing angle. That farthest target, do you see it?
Which one? On the swing set?
The farthest target.
The white one in front of the bird tree? Left of the tree? I cannot see a thing.
It's just about 500 yards. So let's see, do I have my laser on me? Let me ring it. Eyes and ears? Eyes and ears? Well, again, you put your eyes and ears on.
I know.
Yeah. You hear it? Take your ears off and listen. It's a joke. That was a joke. Who's up? Shooting over the top of it. Give me another. Good job. Roll off. Good. Give me another. Good. Roll off.
Keep going.
You see what we're shooting at, right? That silhouette out there?
The silhouette next to the
You can use those.
swings.
High left, favor right. Now we got to start thinking about the wind with a little bullet like this at 300 yards, eh? Send another, favor right. He's shooting at that silhouette by the second set of swingers out there. Look high left, favor right. Favor right, send it. Take it easy, Chanchi. Shoot the square swinger on the same distance on the swing set.
Left side, right?
Yep. Shoot one of the smaller swingers, the one on the right side.
Nope. Fuck that one up.
Hit.
Hey. More.
Hit.
Nice job.
I'm going to the one behind it.
Yeah, it's about 340, 350. The one behind it is almost 400. let's, quick takeaways. You know, these guns are quite capable, aren't they? You know, I mean, we're not shooting, I got some 500-yard hits. If we went to the other range that's flatter, you'd be able to, it's kind of an elevated position, so you have a better visual. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, depending on the weather. If it gets real snowy, white targets. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. Going down the right. The one beyond that's 1,000 yards. So if you see that square one down there, that's 1,000. And then with optics, you can see down to the mile targets. So here's what we're going to do. Because we want to know our on-demand skills, not just can we just dump ammo all day. You're going to take 10 rounds. You get, actually I'll give you 3 shots per. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. One shooter at a time. You can use the bench if you want to. You can prone out. I would rather see you prone out. You could use the, because of your vision, you can use the rest that's there. And I want to see if you can get some hits. It's just going to require, we're all going to be quiet for like a half hour and let the shooter work through their process. So one at a time, we'll step up. You get 3 shots. If you hit it, don't waste the ammo. If you hit it on your first one, go to the next one, okay? And then tell us which of the targets at that distance you're shooting at, because we're going to watch. I don't want you to shoot the wrong one and we just hear steel ring. At like 700 yards, it's pretty hard to hear that if we're hearing voices and if you don't have a spotting scope or binoculars. Shooting the target all the way to the left at 2 Hondo. Going to 5. So we got hits at 5. I'll go to 7. Shooting the square target on the left. All right, so we got a hit at each position. All right, so on that I aimed from this vantage point. I'm about 3 feet over the top of it, aiming kind of at the top of the berm. So the 1,000-yard hit's doable on that large target. You know, that's a pretty big target. You're shooting a side of a truck at 1,000 yards, right? Big deal. If we had a spotting scope, we could see the bullet strikes. So let's just be super mindful of the mechanics. I'm going to clear these guns out real quick. And whoever's up can come wow us with what we learned yesterday. Hit. Go to 2. I don't want to get wet. Center of the 3. Yep. All the way to the left now at 3. I would aim at the top of the target stand. Send another. There you go.
Going for the center.
At 5. I didn't see it. Give me the binos, please. Ineffective. There you go. Which one you shooting at 5? I did not see that hit. Send another one. You hit the ground about 10 yards in front of it, yeah. There you go. Send one more, same hold. Hear how long that's taken to get down there? All right, go to 7. Big square in the middle, or you can pick one up. Pick, you know, which you've got optics, so what's your hold? Aim at the top of the berm pretty much. Woohoo! 700 yards. Nice job. Roll off. I didn't see where that one hit. Little barrels. And when we don't have rock solid zero confirmation, you know, it's not always as easy when you're at distance.
Did it hit? Yep.
Send one more. Which one you shooting at 7?
The left one, the 2.
Nice work. Roll off.
Can I take a couple at the long one?
Yes, you can. How high you aiming?
Just under the tree line.
Lobbing them in. Shooter, shooter. Nice job. Hit at 3.
Like, I guess the middle guy.
Middle guy. So what's your hold at 5, remember?
The target over.
Okay. Woohoo! Hit at 5. Nice. Left target.
Hit. Middle target. Okay.
Little target going for the cross.
Let's do it.
Middle of the 3.
Yep.
Unsee it.
Let's go left of the 3. Hit.
That's 3. Going to 7.
Left target.
Left of the 2. Nice. That was a hit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Basically scrambles your cells in your brain.
Good.
Hit.
Hell yeah. Nice. 5 hundo. Going to 7. Good and steady. Control your breath. 7 hundo with a red dot with no bipod, no bags. Nice job, kid. Roll out. Oh, you're going to shoot the 1,000. I'm sorry. I don't want to rob you of that. Rolling off. Good job. Nice work. Nice. Which one you shooting at?
Left side.
300, going to 5. You should see 2 hanging targets on the right side of that berm.
Yep.
Okay, shoot one of those. Wowie wow! All right, let's play your partner.
I love that. You should have. You gave
Ready! From a low ready position. Go! Fight!
One stage back. One stage back. The bottom one's back. I think whoever's on the right side should get a second shooter because
Oh!
whoa, let the lady win.
So we just wrapped up some shooting out here at the mile. It's called the mile because you can see off into the distance there. It goes actually a little over a mile. A friend of mine's range outside of Dallas. This place is fantastic. It's private. And the students today took their very basic carbines, red dots, irons, etc. And they shot from 100, 200, 300, 500, and 700 yards way back with just basic ammunition and good old-fashioned marksmanship, good old-fashioned rock-solid shooting fundamentals, and a basic understanding of bullet trajectory. This stuff is not hard, but oftentimes not applied correctly. In our 3-day rifle pistol course, we really dig in to what I like to call country boy shooting. Nothing fancy, but it's using your gun as intended to put a projectile into a target wherever it might be. Hope to see you in class. Hey man, what are you doing in the podcast room, Steve?
I'm writing a national anthem. It's going to be at folk festivals for Gunfighter Gun Oil.
Oh.
Let me tell you about Gunfighter Gun Oil. Made in the USA. Gunfighter Gun Oil. 100% synthetic. It's gonna last you, baby. Yeah. Gunfighter Gun Oil is the best I've ever seen. It's gonna make you get everything that you've ever seen. Oh, baby, I love me. I love me some Gunfighter Gun Oil. Yeah. Oh, Gunfighter Gun Oil. Gunfighter.
Gonna get my lighter out. I don't have it.
It wasn't even Bob Dylan. It was like a love story.